All right, so today we're continuing identifying key parts of quadratics, but we're just going to be using our calculator a bit more today. So I am starting on page 4. If yours are not already numbered, just go ahead and do so. This is your page 1, so behind the cover sheet, that's page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4 where we are today. So my maximum we've already done, and minimum for vertex in Khan Academy, that's your purple and green poster at the front. So if it's a maximum, you should be using menu 6.3. If it is a minimum, you should be using menu 6.2. And remember, your maximum looks something like this with your vertex at the top, and the minimum looks kind of like a bowl, and you've got your vertex on the bottom. For your roots, we're going to use menu 6.4. And remember that roots are the same thing as zeros, x-intercepts, and solutions. You need to know all 4 words for that. So roots, zeros, x-intercepts, and solutions. The line of symmetry is just the x value from whatever you get from your vertex. So for example, if -3,7 was the point you got for your vertex, then x equals -3 is the line of symmetry. So all I'm doing is looking for that x value, and that tells me what line cuts my graph in half. So actually going through and doing all of these, we're going to start with number 1, and notice that they give you the equation already. So we're going to go ahead and graph x squared minus 4. So again, I'm going to click New Document. No, I don't want to save anything. 2, I want the graphs. And now I'm good to go. So remember, f of x is the same thing as y equals. So when I am plugging in my equation, all I have to do is type in everything after the equal sign. So I have x, which is down here, squared, and then minus 4. Be careful that you are not using the white one right here. It has to be the black one. And once you have that, just hit enter so you can actually see your picture. If for whatever reason you cannot see the image, you need to click menu 4 to zoom out. And I want you to go ahead and write that somewhere on your paper here, because we are going to use that quite a bit. Okay, so now let's go ahead and finish the problem. So this is asking me for my vertex, and I think I'm on the wrong page. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So vertex. So I'm looking at my shape and I say, okay, it's more like a bowl. So this is a minimum. This is 6.2. So I'm going to go into my calculator and I'm going to press menu 6, which is analyze, and 2 for a minimum. Okay, lower bound means you go all the way to the left and hit enter, and then all the way to the right and hit enter. So you should be highlighting that entire page, and when that happens, your vertex will pop up. So 0, -4 is my vertex. Okay, we already figured out that this had to be a minimum to use that rule, so we're going to write minimum here. You can write the whole word or abbreviate, it doesn't matter to me. And then the other thing that we can tell right off the bat using our vertex is that the x value is the line of symmetry. So I'm going to say x equals, and I'm going to go up and look for my x value, which in this case is 0. So I'm just going to write x equals 0. All right, the second part of this is to identify my zeros, which remember those are solutions and x-intercepts and roots. Notice I am saying this a lot. It is very, very important. So my zeros happen on my x-axis. So I'm saying, all right, how many times does my picture cross this line? It looks like it happens twice. So I'm going to say there are 2 zeros. And now to go through and find them, I want you to use your calculator. I don't want you to estimate just because some of the decimals get a little weird. So x squared minus 4 is our graph, and we're looking for our roots, which is menu 64. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. When you have two roots, instead of highlighting the whole page, so menu 6. Oh, guys, I think I messed up. It's 6-1. So lower bound is here, upper bound, I stop at the vertex. So instead of highlighting this whole page, I need to go from lower bound to the vertex, and then I would do vertex over bound. So we've got -2, 0 as my first root. Okay, and then I need to do this again. So menu 6, 1. So again, 0. Remember, those words kind of match. So we've got 6, 1. And then for lower bound, because we already found this root, I'm going to start at my vertex and I'm going to highlight to the right, and now I should get positive 2, 0. Okay. So these are our 2 points, and based on what we did yesterday, there was some confusion for the roots. So the way that I was having you go through it is you just pick your x value. So this is one way to write it. The other way is just to say x is equal to -2 and x is equal to +2. Okay, and you need to know how to write it both in blue and in green because you'll see it both ways on the exam. Okay, but before we finish, let's go ahead and make sure we've corrected this. So you can just cross it out, but this should be 6-1, not 6-4. So my bad on that. Just wrapping up, looking ahead. As a hint, if your line or your graph never touches the x-axis or line, then you don't have any roots. It is based on how many times it crosses that line. So I can either see 0 roots, 1 root, or 2 roots. Those are your only options for the first answer choice D. Okay, but as always, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, and if you finish early, please, please, please go finish that Khan Academy stuff. I have so many zeros for the quadratics, which is sad because we've been doing it for like 2 weeks. So again, ask me questions, but good luck.